Blessings and joy, beloved. This is Yeshua. We are here to once again clarify some of our teachings that were passed on to you in our name regarding money. These teachings are always going to be passed on with the subconscious or conscious filters of the one who is passing them forward to you. So they are very prone to distortion, and we are here to give you a fresh perspective. It was once said that I said it was easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Does this mean that rich people are barred? They are not allowed in? Of course not. And the kingdom of heaven is not an amusement park. There is no guard at the gate who is checking your ticket stub and determining whether or not you are good enough to get in or worthy in some arbitrary way. The kingdom of heaven is an alignment. You can be in an alignment with the kingdom of heaven, such as a phrase that is. You can bring and manifest the kingdom of heaven here on earth. The kingdom of heaven is a way of being. And in a sense, it is also a real place where you can ascend to at the end of a chapter. But when I said that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle, it meant that in general, those who make the accumulation of things, the accumulation of possessions or wealth or power, their primary objective in their incarnation, are going to be in that alignment, and they are going to have a very hard time shifting out of that material mindset. Now, the reason we are delivering this message to you, whereas many of you may think, of course, I am above material possessions, I am above power, I am above having things and money. And yet, within spiritual circles, there has been an adoption of very productive mindset values, of capitalistic values, of this idea that if you are poor, you must be doing something wrong. There is a tendency, especially in this one's culture, to blame those who have nothing on their individual choices, rather than recognizing the systemic factors that lead to those being trapped in poverty and finding it very difficult to break out of those manufactured, constructed cycles designed to keep people poor. Now, it is a blending. It is not saying no one is ever responsible for their status and it is always a systemic problem, but it is a blending of both issues. There are personal choices you can make, but those will only carry you so far if you are smashing up against the wall of the system as it is designed to keep you in your place. That being said, the accumulation of wealth or net worth does not equate to your value as a spark of the divine, to your value as a human being. It was recently said to this one, which is why he asked me to speak on this subject, that one's bank balance is a reflection of your spiritual status. Because if you are truly in alignment with your highest self and your highest good, you will be manifesting abundance and not living in a poverty mindset, in a lacking mindset. Bless them. They are trying so hard to make these two ideas fit into one container. Beloved, there is going to be, in every pathway, obstacles to overcome. Your obstacles are not going to look like another's obstacles. Just because two people are facing the same type of obstacle does not mean they are meant to gain the same learning from it as well. So you could have two people in identical situations of poverty who have two entirely different lessons to learn. In fact, many different lessons to learn from their respective circumstance. There is no one size fits all. You must develop your discernment when you hear these broad statements. You must learn to suss out what is applicable for you, what is within your vibration and your chosen path of development that will be useful. And you can let the rest go. For that is not for you. That is for someone else. You do not need to judge it. You do not need to try to correct it or condemn it. It is for someone else. That is a lesson for them to learn. Let them learn it in their own way, at their own time, at their own pace, and simply focus on what you have to learn from this go round. Another quote attributed to me is that the poor you will always have with you. This one also heard that taken as some kind of mandate that you are not to help the poor or try to alleviate these systemic problems because I said that you would always have the poor with you, therefore you must not get rid of the poor. Again, bless them, they are trying. That's not what I meant when I was quoted as saying that. I'm not even going to say that I did actually say it. But if I were to say that, what I would mean is you will always have higher causes, bigger things that seem to need your attention, systemic problems, the poor, the environment, politics, spinning out of control. And yet, you cannot use that as an excuse to overlook or turn away from the immediate places in your life where you can be of service to those who are close to you in your inner circle, who you can be a help to, who you can comfort or protect and defend. Your inner circle and your immediate community is where you have the opportunity to make the greatest impact. Absolutely, there are systemic things you can donate your time, your resources, your energy to. And we encourage you to cultivate multiple angles of development. But you must always remember that your greatest sphere of influence is going to be the one immediately around you. Who can you help directly today? Who can you reach out a hand towards in fellowship today? Who can you comfort today? The idea of wealth has changed drastically throughout history. This dilapidated shack was once a wealthy home belonging to a very successful rancher. Now it sits abandoned and falling apart, and no one wants to live here. This is not considered a lovely home by any standard today, because the standard of wealth is always going to change, is always going to be connected to cultural norms. If you pursue that, you will always be falling short. You will never find yourself measuring up and having enough, because someone will always have the bigger cabin, the bigger fireplace, the bigger banquet table, the bigger bank balance, and you are going to feel that you do not have anything at all by comparison. Rather, this can be a grand palace. In many places, this would be a lovely home, an enviable home. And yet here, because of its location, it is considered an abandoned amusement. You can see it within what is now a state park, but it is not a desirable property. It is a point of interest and curiosity. Do not measure your self-worth by your bank balance. Rather, learn to recognize, and this is what manifesting abundance really starts with, recognizing what you already have. When you focus your energy of concentration, of consciousness on what you have, you begin to multiply what you have. You begin to feel filled and nourished by what you have. And then you begin to attract more of what you already have. That is the beginning of manifestation. It is not focusing on what is lacking, and it is not willing it into existence through sheer force of statement. It is recognizing how you already possess it, allowing that energy to grow within you. until you realize you have always been truly abundant. You were never lacking. You simply were told that you were lacking, and you believed it. This is a difficult lesson, and again, even these words that I speak on this recording are limited. Do not take them as black and white, as applicable to every situation. Your path is going to be different than another's path. These words can be applicable in every situation if you apply them with wisdom and discernment. For there is true lack in this world. There is true want. There is true need. And there are solutions to be found within community, within yourself, within a friend, within a relationship. These trials are given to you as an opportunity to reach out, to ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this adversity? How can I take this loss or this lack and incorporate it, own it, allow it to be the manure that fertilizes this heart to allow something beautiful to bloom and grow from it? Please apply these words with wisdom, beloved. Use your discernment and you'll be just fine. Peace, blessings, and joy to all of you. This was Yeshua. This is the cabin of the Wilder Ranch, which was very successful for many, many decades in the last century, the century before. And now it is a state park. And so Yeshua, of course, stepped forward. He loves to speak on these messages because, as he pointed out, they often start with quoting him, with taking the words of Jesus and saying, well, Jesus said, this. And so it's great to bring him in to be able to clarify, because if he's going to be quoted, we might as well get his take on it. So that was pressing as I went on a hike today and found this cabin at the end of my hike. So I was ready to go home when guidance said, hey, you've got an opportunity here. Let's grab it. Let's sit down and record a message because it'll be fun. And it was. I had a blast recording this, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I hope you found it encouraging. I hope if you're in a really tough situation that you look within yourself and, as Yeshua said, find how this can be ultimately something that you can grow from. Maybe there's some avenue that you can reach out to ask for help and assistance, but it's not a failure on your part that you're in this situation. It's an opportunity to grow. And when you recognize that, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. Just move forward. And you might hit another wall. How can we scale that wall? What do we need to do to get past that obstacle? I hope this was an encouragement for you to keep going, to not give up. I hope that this message was encouraging to you. It was encouraging to me. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to share this message with a friend, that is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with guidance, with Yeshua or Seth or any of the guides who speak on this channel, you can book that at universalreiki.com. And I would love to facilitate that conversation between you and guidance. You can also schedule that as a guided healing, where guidance will actually do some distance Reiki healing, and in addition to giving you that conversation and being able to ask questions. It's something that I really enjoy getting to facilitate, and I hope I make these videos in the hope that people will be interested in checking that out. So please head over to universalreiki.com and see what's available to book. I'd love to work with you. If you'd like to support this channel in other ways, you can like the video, helps the algorithm. You can share it, that's even better. You can also donate through the Ko-Fi link in the description. And in the description, there are also some links to help charities that we like to support, usually indigenous causes that are supported by this channel. It's something that we take very seriously, and 10% of all proceeds through universalreiki.com go towards indigenous advocacy. So thanks for considering supporting in any of those ways. I hope you'll come back next time to hear the next message. If you like this, please subscribe and you'll get notified when the new messages drop, which is every couple of weeks. Thanks for joining me. This was Daniel Zafer-Joyce for Universal, and I'll see you next time.